挽回死なないために死ぬほど準備することなんて絵に秘められたことでしょう。光栄だけど買いかぶりっすよ。
Hello guys, it's me Sim Orahara, and in this video we'll talk about an interesting topic, which is the power of names in Bleach and what it has to do with the complete Bankai and with the power in general in the story of Bleach. But first of all, I want to talk about my last video, exactly about someone's comment. Unfortunately, I deleted it because I saw some viewers started to reply on his comments. Otherwise, I would leave it there. Anyway, my video about Urahara and Shinjimaru wasn't in the first place a theory. It was just a talk about if there was a relationship between them or not. And if there is, how I imagine it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I have said it clear. We don't have any clear evidence that there is a relationship between them. That's why I have made my own scenario based on some information that we already have. So you wanna call it fanfiction? That's your business. And I never said that what I was saying in that video are wholly facts. You should take it by force. However, to say my videos are based on the same way, here where you have mistaken. When I want to make a theory, I start from the facts we already have in the manga. Just facts. And more than that, if you want to talk about fanfiction, I would like to write millions of fanfiction than to steal someone's ideas. Dignity is everything for me more than money itself, especially when it comes to writing. Because I think someone has false idea about who I am. I don't care about being the top or the best. What I care about is presenting my ideas and creating something that I'm enjoying. Yes, I care about views too. I want my videos to have thousands of views, but not on my values. And another thing, my main goal is not to be right or wrong, but to open the door for discussions. And I have said that many times. If I was right, that's good. If I was wrong, that's also good. At least I tried to give my own opinion. So guys, I just wanted to clarify these things, and let's move on to our topic. If you speak for example with someone who has read the 1000-Year Blood War and told him about the power of the names, he would directly talk to you about Ichibi and his great Shikai ability Ichimonji. This Shikai's unique ability, able to remove names for things and people and give them new names in the Bankai mode. And personally, when I have seen this ability for the first time, I really like it, and I saw it as a qualitative and new ability in the story of Bleach. But in reality, when you go back to the story of Bleach and read it from the beginning and focus on some pages, some characters and some fights, you will find Bleach is full and rich of this concept. And that the names in Bleach are not ordinary names, but they have great power between their letters and aren't easy to learn and pronounce. So in this video, we will dive into the most important events that highlighted this concept. And perhaps the events that everyone knows and confirms this meaning of the name is when the fake Zangetsu wanted to pronounce his real name Yuhabach, and his name was removed by the ink of Ichimonji. That's why I imagine what would have happened if the fake Zangetsu had pronounced his real name. Because there are several varieties on this subject. We have the Shinigami who know the names of their Zanpakuto, and on the basis of how they call the Zanpakuto, the letter is formed, and I will talk about this type in detail. And there are also some characters that can make part of their Zanpakuto have another power, like what happened with Zaraki and Yachiro. As soon as he named her Yachiro, she gained the power of a Shinigami and became one of them. And there are characters who are unable to pronounce their own real name, and if they pronounce it, their true power will return. And I said again, I don't know if the same thing would happen with the fake Zangetsu. I mean, if he said his real name, would this have added any additional powers to Ichigo? Because there is an example clearly clarify this issue, which is Ikamokudomoi. Ikamokudomoi, who is considered one of the most powerful characters that appeared in the world of Wikomondo, he had his own name. But when he headed to the Soul Society and tried to storm the Royal Palace, Ichibi used Ichimonji and removed his name and gave him the name we know, which is Ikamokudomoi. In the events of the novel, when Ikamokudomoi absorbed the parts of Ryo that were inside Hikone, Ichimonji's ability weakened and he was around the corner for his real name being pronounced. But fortunately, Zaraki had intervened and prevented him from doing so. Therefore, it can be said that the fact that some characters can't pronounce their own name may have a great impact on their true power. But these cases remain rare. What is well known is the inability of some Shinigami to know the name of their Zanpakuto. Without knowing the name of your Zanpakuto, it's like you're fighting with a regular sword. That's we had noticed with Ichigo when he was training with Ura Arakiski. Ichigo became a Shinigami and got his Zanpakuto because he simply doesn't know the name. The same thing with Zaraki, he owned a Zanpakuto but without a name. And this issue doesn't stop at that point, it even goes to the name of the techniques. The launch of the techniques without its name affects its power. And this is what the Osan Zangetsu told Ichigo when he was teaching him the technique of Getsuga Tensho. He said that the amount of power varies a lot when you know the name of the technique or not. This was also confirmed by Kubo in one of his answers to this question. He said that releasing some Shikai techniques without a name requires experience, but despite that, they will not reach the same effectiveness. And there is another category, which is how to call your Zanpakuto, and this plays a big role in getting full strength or not. For example, Yumichika knows the real name of his Zanpakuto, which is Ririru Kujaku, but yet he calls it by a different name, which is Fujukujaku. Therefore, the Zanpakuto doesn't form in its true form and does not give its full power. Of course, Yumichika knows the real name of his Zanpakuto, but what about someone who knows only half the name? This is what happened to Renji. Throughout the story, until he went to the Royal Palace, Renji was using just half the power of his Bankai. It is true that Renji has already the name of his Zanpakuto, which is Zamibaru, but he didn't know the full name of his Bankai. He only knew half the name, which was Hihu, the Baboon King. And he wouldn't have known the full name of the Bankai if he didn't meet Ichibi, the one who told him that his Zanpakuto didn't give him the full name of his Bankai. And after that, Renji got to know the full name, which is Sohu or the Two Kings. And for all what I have said, I'm wondering now about Zaraki. We've learned that pronouncing the name, it has a great effect on increasing the person's power, and Zaraki is not the one who got in the Bankai mode, but little Yachiro, who is his Bankai, is the one who facilitates for him that. So what would have happened if Zaraki is the one who said the word Bankai? I think if he said Bankai, that would made him at another level of power. And I really want to see him pronouncing that word, so we can see his true power. We have also the Quincy. Yuabakan gave the Quincy power through Schrift, by engraving the letter onto the soul of the Quincy. Even the Fullbring should have a name for their abilities, and that's what Ginju said to Ichigo when he got his Fullbring for the first time. In the end, guys, it appears to you from all the examples that I have been presented to you that having the power in Bleach depends as much as the physical abilities as it depends on the mental strength that enables a person to reach the meaning of his power that's embodied through a specific name. So guys, tell me what you think about this topic, and see you guys in my next video.